Welcome to Inclusion Counts. My name is Rick Williams. I'm the Business Inclusion Manager for the City of Pittsburgh, Office of Equity, Office of Mayor William Peduto. Inclusion Counts is a show that educates, informs, and inspires minority women and veteran contractors across the state of Pennsylvania with a local focus. It's a monthly conversation with subject matter experts, government practitioners, and businesses that operate in this space every day. The goal of the program is to share resources, provide capacity building information, and to also promote contract opportunities for vendors in this region. Today's show, we're interviewing two commissioners from the Equal Opportunity Review Commission, Erin Conley, Chair, and Dr. Karen Hall, Vice Chair. Just to give our viewers a little background on the EORC, this commission has evolved over time dating back to 1994, when the department was called the Office of Business and Employment Opportunities under Mayor Sophie Maslow. In 1999, the department was renamed EORC by amending Article 5 in the Home Rule Charter. During the same year, a disparity study was conducted to internally evaluate minority women and veteran contractor participation on City of Pittsburgh contracts compared to non-minority persons. Currently, the overall basic functions of the EORC are to monitor minority and women and veteran participation on all city contracts, and also to be a referral and resource arm through collaborative partnerships and external facing programs such as this show. With that said, let's get to it. How are both of you doing today?
I'm great, Rick. Thanks for having us on. We appreciate the platform.
Yeah, I'm good today, Rick. Thank you.
Oh, this is great, and this is an opportunity for us to be able to reach out to our external public in the city of Pittsburgh. And so I gave a brief description of the EORC that is not the whole function and breadth of the work. We know it's comprised of 11 volunteers such as yourself on this. And let the viewers know, and I guess we'll start with Erin, what is the role of the EORC Commissioner?
Well, the role of the EORC Commission is to, count for checks and balances and make sure that all of the authorities for the city and the contracts that go through the city are meeting their participation goals as it pertains to WBE and MBE businesses. We look to have prime contractors sub out to DBEs, and we check and make sure that they're doing that and they're at least trying to reach their goals, if not hitting the goals or exceeding the goals. And the way we do that is we make sure that if they're not hitting the goals, then they have to show us all the processes that they took, that they went to, and all the efforts, a good faith effort that they took to, open these opportunities up to WBEs and MBEs to get them involved and give them a fighting shot at getting contracts and being on these contracts.
What is a good faith effort? Give me an example of that for our viewers to kind of understand what those steps are for a prime contractor on a city contract.
I'll use the Housing Authority of the City of Pittsburgh as an example. They have a bidders list that any company can go on and fill out the application and get on that bidders list. And anytime there's a contract that's coming up for that needs a proposal and that they're accepting proposals, will go out via email to anybody that's on that bidders list and gives them the full scope to let them know ahead of time if it's something that they are even built to do. Also, the Courier, they advertise in the Courier, they advertise in the PG, those sorts of things. So as long as they're really making that effort to reach out, giving these businesses an opportunity to be involved, have a shot at getting these contracts, and then following up to make sure that they are, have gotten the information, they've had a fair shot at getting involved in the project and having a shot at being granted the project and the contract, I should say.
You know, one thing I didn't mention in the intro, both of you have been on this commission for a long time. I know Erin has been on through the previous administration prior to Mayor Peduto, and then Karen has been on since the new administration has came and taken office here.
Right.
I wanted to kind of set this up and see what type of changes, I guess, have been made since both of your involvements with the EORC. And I guess, you know, we'll give Erin a break and let Erin go ahead. Dr. Hall actually kind of mentioned that, and then we could circle back.
Sure. Well, again, I appreciate being on the show, and Erin did such a phenomenal job in explaining our role as EORC commissioners. And I've been on since 2015. And many changes have occurred since I've been on, from our chairs to what actually happens in and about the EORC. Namely, the participation of authorities that have come before us. We've had subcommittees that we formed, such as the Policy and Bylaw Committee, to make sure that as EORC commissioners and those authorities that come before us, that we follow the Code of 177A. And that's been sort of like our guide when these authorities come before us. But the subcommittee in which I had a role in coordinating and really helping that go off was the WBE Roundtable. We did that for 2 years. And I know we did one at the Hill House. That was our first kickoff, which was phenomenal. And let me explain, the WBE Roundtable was really to help those minority-owned businesses who maybe want to be certified but have yet to understand the processes, what procurement is, and that role in becoming a certified MBE, WBE. Like, that was the main purpose of us bringing women together. And they were so grateful. And the turnout for the first annual at the Hill House was very exciting and a great turnout. I think that was 2016, if I'm correct, and Erin, help me out if I'm misinforming dates here.
Yeah, no, that was the first one, and it was so well attended. Yeah,
and again, it was needed because we've seen that there were so many women who have businesses, but because they're not certified, that was an awakening for them to understand the process. And then we had our second at Chatham University, and actually it grew. So, you know, you start annual, you start from some place, but then one at Chatham grew, and we added more vendors to that roundtable at Chatham. Obviously, our numbers grew, and actually, with the purpose of women WBEs becoming certified, we did have women certifying their own businesses to compete for contracts within the city.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to interrupt for 1 second. I just wanted to kind of piggyback off of what Dr. Hall just said. That could be an overwhelming, kind of task for women-owned businesses and minority-owned businesses, honestly, to get certified. Just the perception of it is that it's very cumbersome, and there's a lot of detail that needs to be involved. So this forum really helped explain it, walk them through the process. It became less intimidating, and allowed for more minority-owned businesses to be certified, which is required to be on a contract with any of the city authorities.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess we'll go back to you, Erin. You know, through that work of the EORC and through both of your leadership on those projects, have we seen an increase for the participation for our minorities and women in 2019? I know 2020 has just left off, so we may not have numbers for that. Right. But what can you share with the Inclusion Count viewers?
Yes, we don't have the report for 2020, but I'm excited to get it. Honestly, we just had a great year, even in spite of COVID. We really were able to keep the meetings going. We had great participation. You know, there's just an energy and a vibe that everything's moving in the right direction with the city, with the authorities. 2019, I do have those numbers. We ended up with 17% MBE and 33% WBE in 2019. And the increase in the WBE was due to the growing number of WBE as prime contractors, which is really awesome. That's what we hope for. I mean, yeah, it's great to be a sub and get that contract, but if we could really support these minority-owned businesses and women-owned businesses to the point where they grow enough to be prime contractors, and then they're picking their subs, which they're going to remember where they came from and how much support they got, so they're going to turn around and really pay it forward, which is the mission of the EORC. I mean, we are here to advocate for DBEs and really, just be that support underneath them to get them to a level where they're going to be successful and they're going to be able to hire more employees and grow their business. So that's really the purpose of it and the point of it. And we're excited to get the 2020 numbers for sure.
It shows that the process has been developed, and we're following as a city, and we're kind of putting our money where our mouth is, so to speak, right?
Yeah. So I've been on the commission since it wasn't mentioned, and I just wanted to mention it, that you said 2 administrations, but I started on the commission in 2012. So, I'm going on 9 years, and I'm just thrilled with the progress and where we are today, and just so proud to say that I've, been on the commission this long, and now I'm the chair, and I'm proud to be the chair. And I'm so proud of all the commissioners that we're volunteers. Everybody volunteers their time because we believe in advocating for small businesses.
Yeah.
No, this is awesome. Karen, Dr. Hall, do you want to share anything in regards to that space as we're seeing kind of moving forward with the commission? It seems like it's an evolving process here. What things do you see kind of moving forward for the EORC?
Yeah, well, Erin did a great job in talking about the growth of EORC, and you can always improve, right? So one thing for sure would be those checks and balances of our primes, like after the work, or actually during their work and after the work, that either they report out or come back before the commissioners and talk about, this is what we did based on the scope of our work prior to being accepted by the commission to do the work. And this is what our subs were able to get out of this. That's really important because you want to have purpose. And when we are saying to these primes that please go ahead and do the work, that they're doing the scope of work that they mentioned, and that the subs are actually getting the work also and being rewarded for their work. And also another thing I'd like to see moving forward is some more participation by other authorities here in the city of Pittsburgh. That's growth. And as we mentioned, the EORC has done a great job, but those 2 entities could really take us forward as we move into 2021.
That's awesome. And I think that we're moving in that direction. I think that, under the leadership of Mayor Peduto, allowing that to happen, the different type of collaborative programming and funding and capacity building opportunities are in that space now. That allows that freedom to do things. And also we've also had conversations with procurement and how we change our procurement processes to allow more participation, development of primes, minority primes, as Erin had mentioned on those contracts with the growth last year. Yes. And I guess we're kind of winding down, and I have one more question that I share with all of my guests on the show. What does inclusion mean to you? Who wants to start?
I'll go. I'll start. That's such a loaded question. That's like leadership. There's not one answer to that question. But, I would sum it up as being able to give opportunity to marginalized, minority groups, and giving minorities and disadvantaged groups opportunities and resources that maybe they would not have otherwise, and having access. But first, before access, you have to know that it's happening. So that's how I would sum up inclusion, because it's such an impactful concept but it's actually giving resources, access, and knowledge to marginalized groups.
Okay, Erin.
Okay. Well, here's my thought about, this is what pops into my head when I think about inclusion and where we need to go with it as a city. Pittsburgh is a small town, big city, that there has been a lot of glad handing along the way. It's just tradition. It's been in a tradition of nepotism and you know, these relationships that are built, and then they always give, those companies always give the work to those companies. And I get that. I mean, relationships are important. Me as a salesperson, I rely on them for sure. But if that continues in that fashion, then there's no opportunities for small businesses, more specifically minority businesses. So you have to break that cycle. You have to break that chain and really, you know, push forward to have inclusion, which is getting these other small businesses the opportunity. If they don't get a shot, they're never going to grow their business. So somebody had to step in and, you know, break that cycle of the old boys club and glad handing and, you know, I'm going to give to my son-in-law and that type of thing, and nepotism. And that's really why this was formed in the first place, I believe. So, you know, Karen and the other commissioners and myself, that's what we advocate for, to be able to give all of these small businesses that chance to become larger businesses.
And that's why Mayor Peduto selected both of you to be on there and to be part of the leadership of the EORC. And with that said, I thank both of you for spending your time, your talent, and your vision for the EORC and the minority, women, and veteran community of the city of Pittsburgh. So with that said, thank you. And this concludes our show. This concludes.
Thanks for having us, Rick.
And hopefully we'll see you again.
Thank you.
I'd love to be on anytime. Thanks for inviting us.